at that.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but also a lot of these people, pastors are trash, so I'm also conflicted. It's like I don't want you to esteem my word higher than your local church pastor, but your local church pastor might actually be bad. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah,
But
yeah.
God loves you.
Mm,
He really does. And
yeah,
he cares for you and he
yeah,
sees you.
yeah,
And so when you entertain people instead of edifying, instructing, guarding, shepherding, leading in a holy way, you grieve God's heart.
yeah,
I
yeah,
really, because that's selfish.
yeah, yeah,
You become like the shepherds in Ezekiel who are just feeding themselves
yeah,
instead of feeding the flock.
yeah.
And so I think confess it if that's a temptation. I think it's a temptation for all of us. It's a temptation for
Mm,
me. You
yeah,
know what I'm saying? But I think God is safe enough to hear that because he already knows it. But
yeah.
he also can grace us and sanctify our motives
Mm,
so that in the teaching, in the preaching, in the leadership, it really becomes an act of worship and
yeah,
therefore service.
yeah. That's
And so
good.
I think that's what faithfulness has to fall back on. Like, how do I say it? Like, for example, I was talking to a person, he was asking me advice for someone whose wife is moving in a particular way that's not healthy.
Mm,
And I was like, I think the wife has to see that how she interacts with her husband is an extension of her relationship with God. If she
yeah,
sees them
yeah.
as separate,
Hmm.
then it's easier for her to do.
Yeah,
So, in the same way, if I
yeah.
really don't see that my self serving techniques
Mm,
are an extension of my worship, or like if you lose 10,000 followers, so what? You know God.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Mm,
I also have been curious of how to motivate people back into their local churches
mm, yeah.
because I kind of think that's our responsibility
Hmm.
to say, I'm going to need you to honor a pastor or a leader that you actually have access to.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
So I've been wondering how me and Preston can do better at that.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
but also a lot of these people, pastors are trash, so I'm also conflicted. It's like I don't want you to esteem my word higher than your local church pastor, but your local church pastor might actually be bad. So
Yeah.
I don't know.